As we know that there are lots of things which are just discussed like aghori sadhus in this society very rarely, very unmaturely, because lots of things in society are not facts. Society's assumptions and their thoughts are very different than reality, which is true. We can clearly observe it, we can clearly see it in our environment, our societies clearly. So in this episode, we'll be discussing about aghori sadhus. We'll be telling you that what is the reality which actually matters, and what are the things which society just says you, which is actually not true. So we will try to provide you as much as factful information as possible. So in this podcast, we will be discussing the major difference between nagasadhu and aghori sadhu, because many people get confused in this particular topic. So we will try to cover it. Then we will tell you about aghori sadhus, basic introduction, because we don't know actual definition of aghori sadhu. Even there are people who just knows name and their appearance, that's it, don't know anything about them. So we will tell you about that. We will also discuss their beliefs so that you can understand what they think, how they behave, how what are their perspectives, and what are their rules to live in this world. I want to clear one thing, first of all, that I'm not feeling well today, so my voice will be not as much clear as possible, just like other podcast episodes, but I will try my best. Let's start with our first and very interesting topic, which is difference between nagasadhu and aghori sadhu. So there are various types of sadhu, by the way, and by means of sadhu, I am just telling about a worshipping of Shiva only, okay, who treats Shiva as a supreme god. And these sadhus are also divided. So there are multiple categories of this particular sadhus who actually follows Shiva worshipping. There was a time where early worship of Shiva was discovered. Then there is Puranic Saivism and then non-Puranic Saivism, where everything is also divided in two parts. So it's Ati Marga and Mantra Marga and all this stuff. It's get complicated even. So we'll be discussing this whole thing in our upcoming episodes for sure. But for today's episode, we'll be only focusing on topic of aghori sadhus. So nagasadhu and aghori baba have to undergo very difficult examinations and practice, which is called as tapasya. It takes about 12 years to become a nagasadhu and aghori. Nagasadhus generally stay in akhara, and I'm not talking about the akhara which is used for kusti and all. It's different. So basically akhara is like a group, and where they live, where they actually worship, where they perform their tapasya, they do sadhana and all this stuff. So they have to pass difficult examinations, as I told you, and after passing this examination, they become sadhu, they become like monk. But to become aghori baba, penance has to be done in the crematorium, and they spend several years of their life in crematorium with great difficulty. So aghori is all about difficulties, very crucial situation, even very crucial worshipping techniques, and even tantra vidyas. So it's very different. It's very higher worshipping of Shiva, and there are lots of aghori sadhus which are considered to be have some special kind of power and special ability by which is achieved by their this sadhana of years and years. So basically they are a small group of ascetic Shiva both worship Shiva, but with a different method. So that's the only difference I will say. So their method, their living style is different. It is compulsory to make guru in akhara for being nagasadhu. But for aghori sadhu, there is no guru required. So there are aghoris who has actually very unique power, who have actually the strongest power amongst these aghori sadhus. But it's not mandatory to have one guru to become aghori sadhu. So they believe that their mentor is itself Lord Shiva. Generally, aghori sadhus actually do their tapasya around crematorium. So it is said that during the course of tapasya they gain divine powers, and to get these divine powers they has to done this tapasya in crematorium only. So now let's talk about their actual definition or their actual introduction. Who are they? So aghoris are followers of Hindu sect which is believed to be 1000 years old. These ascetics are often regarded as sadhus and have devoted their entire lives to the achievement of moksha, meaning liberation. So that's why they do this sadhana actually, to get moksha and also to achieve that enlightenment. So unlike other sadhus, aghori follow an unconventional and radical path towards enlightenment. So that is also a different thing. So that's why aghoris are considered very differently. They are seen as very crucial sadhus. So that is what we heard about them. We actually get information from society about them. So which is kind of true. They are different from other sadhus for sure, but there are some reasons for that particular personality, that particular appearance, that particular behavior. So of course we will be discussing about them, their behaviors, their appearance and all this stuff also. But for today's episode, let's just keep it simple. The aghoris are also said to be highly respected. So who are the aghoris and what are the practices that have earned them their much feared reputation is very big question mark, because that's where all these questions starts roaming around us and our minds. Aghora Panth is a sect of Hinduism which follows Hatha Yoga and Tantra as their path to God. Hatha Yoga is a way of religion where devotee puts himself in extreme pain, suffering, or performs tremendous austerities and meditation to actually achieve moksha or achieve God. So that's the whole point of doing this yoga and this tantra. So yes, they do perform tantra vidya also. So there is also one type of tantra which is known as aghore tantra. We will be talking about that topic also in our upcoming podcast. So make sure to subscribe us and follow us to never miss any kind of updates from our side. Now let's talk about the aghori beliefs. So how we understand them is very different. But what they understand about their self, what are their self beliefs, what are their views actually, what they want to do, and what are their rules. We'll be discussing that. The underlying philosophy of Aghora is in contrast to many other sects which Jagat Mithya. So according to it, they think that this word is false on God is true. So Aghori believes that the whole world is created and hence is a manifestation of the one absolute God. And this word and everything in it represents God and is composed of the same true ingredient that makes up everything and nothingness too. So they think that chief deity is Lord Shiva. Though many Vaishnavites follow these paths too. So Lord Shiva is attributed to be the one who imparted the knowledge of Tantra, which is central to Aghora. So I believe that is why they treat Lord Shiva as a chief deity who knows. The word Ghora in Sanskrit signifies something very frightening, and Aghora hence means someone who is very gentle and caring, and contrary to the popular images of Aghoris. They are very large-hearted, and many of them have really good sense of humor. So, which is like a very unique point, because as a normal human being, as a normal person who just goes to office and comes to home lately, we don't know how they behave. We actually never meet them. We never, physically seen them. So that's why we have an illusionary image of them from our society, which is very wrong. They are very kind, actually. They are very gentle and caring, as I told you. So it's very different from what we hear from society, what we hear from our environment, and it's all about image, actually. So just because of their presence, we can judge them. Never judge book by its cover. We know that popular quote. The present form of Aghori sect may be traced back to Baba Kinaram, who was actually Aghori from 17th century, and people say that he lived until the age of 170 years, which is kind of like crazy. After his death, Baba Kinaram was buried in the holy city of Varanasi, and the Kinaram temple that was built there is considered by Aghori as a most sacred site for them. So that's the reason actually why Aghoris are usually found residing near cremation sites, most famously in Varanasi. They can also be found in other areas which are much more remote, including the cold caves of Himalayas, dense jungle of Bengal, and the hot desert of Gujarat. So I know that Himalaya is very special place. It's very unimaginable place. It's very special because of its environment, its vibe, its past history, and there are lots of things happening there. If you have not seen our Himalayas podcast, then you want to check it out because it has some special information. So do check it out. If you like it, then make sure to follow us and subscribe us. So I think that's it in our today's episode. We will be discussing about ritual practices, their science of Aghori actually, and practice of medicine which actually performed by them in our upcoming episode. So part 2 will be releasing soon. So for that you have to wait, of course. But for now you can subscribe us, press that bell icon so that you will never miss any updates from our channel. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will meet you in next episode.